Welcome to part 2 of Duke and NC State this season. The Blue Devils welcome in the 6th-ranked Wolfpack, and both teams experienced upsets in different ways in their last matchup. Duke looking to build off their big road win against Syracuse and NC State, hoping to bounce back after a tough road game in Chapel Hill. Every game is important at this point. We're in the final stretch of regular season play. Virginia Tech took down North Carolina earlier today. They have clinched the 1 seed. The top 4 in the standings get a double bye in the ACC tournament. You want to be in the top 8, top 9 for Charlie Cream. As he said, 9 teams are predicted to go in the NCAA tournament. And we look at Duke starting off things, coming off the big win. Jaden Donovan has been impressive, especially off the glass. 11 rebounds in the first half against Syracuse.
Yeah, she is a rebounding machine, coming off a career-high 15 rebounds for Syracuse. She does so much well for Duke with her IQ and versatility on defense. She's been fantastic as of late, and despite the loss the first time these two teams matched up, she had 6 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals.
Let's stick with the stats then, Jazz, because Isaiah James' career-high 33 points in their first matchup has been impressive all season.
Oh, she's electric. She is a pure scorer, can really light it up. She's a tough lefty, can shoot the 3 from anywhere on the floor, off the catch or off the dribble, has crafty finishes in the paint. She's also been rebounding it pretty well. She had 9 in the loss against UNC.
Angel Gray alongside the former Duke and WNBA standout Jasmine Thomas, as we're about to get things kick-started here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Wolfpack start off with the basketball, as Sanaya Rivers up top has been impressive in their last game, seeing each other January 21st. A couple of amazing performances from the Wolfpack. Sanaya Rivers, not in double figures, but had 7 steals.
And that's where she impacts the game for them. She just does it all on both ends of the floor. She's having a terrific season as you see her start the game there with the turnover.
And Jane Donovan, your pick to talk and highlight in the open, has been so impressive. You wouldn't think that she's an underclassman in this ACC. Like, she's been so efficient for this team and doing all the little things for this squad.
Yeah, you know, I love defense, so I'm gonna always highlight my defensive players.
Reagan Richardson with the first bucket of the ball game for the Blue Devils. As we look at the starting 5 for the Wolfpack, Isaiah James, as we mentioned, 33 points. Another player who had a double-double in their first matchup, Mimi Collins, also a handful for any opposing defense. Short shot clock, 7 on. A lot of contact, nothing there, as Kennedy Brown able to advance the ball up the floor for Duke. Another one for Reagan Richardson, and a great start for Reagan.
And Reagan Richardson is the leading scorer on this Duke team. She is such a great offensive player, plays under control. She's pro-ready in that aspect. It's good to see her get going and get on the board quickly.
2 players averaging double figures for Duke, Reagan Richardson being one of them. Back-to-back games where she's had double figures as well. James outside, in and out.
And there you see Jaden Donovan come down with the rebound and start the transition offense for Duke. That is something that she does.
Kennedy Brown found space, gets the bucket over River Baldwin, and that's a matchup you definitely want to keep your eye out on. 6-0 start for the Blue Devils.
It's good for Duke when they can have their post players being aggressive offensively. And Kennedy Brown has been better late in the season. As you see Isaiah James get NC State on the scoreboard with that nice lefty finish.
Southpaw that has just been on fire all season long. 9th in the ACC in scoring. And Duke knows all too well how she can light it up from any level on the floor. Crossover, top of the key. Just off the mark, but a nice move to get to a nice mid-range shot. Welcome to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Angel Gray alongside Jasmine Thomas, as well as we have the second look at NC State and Duke for this season. NC State was able to take their first matchup earlier this season, back in January, 72-57. Wolfpack way, and Carol Lawson talked about how this is a different team. Defensively is where they have to be a bit better the second time around. Duke off to a hot start from the floor, had the 6-0 start before the bucket by Isaiah James, who we highlighted in the open, as they have a short shot clock. Sanaya Rivers off the mark, should have been a shot clock violation. However, Duke with the ball.
And that's a great defensive possession by Duke. They, took away everything that State was trying to do, and then they have a chance to get out in transition and they turn it over, which is something that they've struggled with a lot this season.
48 turnovers over their last 2 games, most recently against Syracuse, 27 turnovers. Carol Lawson said, we were lucky to leave Syracuse with a win.
I mean, for sure, a lot of it is, it's unforced, it's being a little bit, careless, and then it's some things that are, travels or moving screens. So just really focusing in on valuing the basketball is something that this Duke team is trying to do.
Sanaya Rivers struggling from the field to start. Full court. Aina Mayer sends it out. Jackson 3-ball, no good. And quickly, the Wolfpack give it back to the Blue Devils. So what we're seeing so far offensively from Duke, they're taking care of things on the defensive end, but offensively, everyone has been able to touch the ball.
Yeah, they are a great executing team when they can run their offense, when they can keep their pace, not get sped up, and make good decisions.
Top of the key, Reagan has been feeling it, bounces around a little bit, couldn't drop. Sanaya Rivers, the floor general for the Wolfpack this season, has been remarkable, getting national nods as well. Isaiah James, left side, couldn't get it to drop, and that's been her bread and butter all season.
That's great defense by Jackson. She let Isaiah go left. She is a lefty, but she was able to contest and make that too tough without fouling.
Donovan outside, Jackson turning down the 3, held up by James. Good defense for the Wolfpack. Mayer, better offense.
I'm so impressed by Mayer and how she's able to just hit big shots when Duke needs them.
Mayer also averaging double figures, still at the top of the key. Count it.
How about that? Your center with the steal and the coast-to-coast layup. Emsbo's actually very good at that. She gets a lot of deflection. She's very active with her hands in her post defense and ball screens.
Her 43rd steal of the season, very active indeed, and they are making it very tough for the Wolfpack at the top of the key. Look where Sanaya Rivers is forced to start the offense.
Forced to start the offense out far and also be pinned to one side, not able to get ball movement.
Offensive rebound goes down for the Wolfpack after that missed attempt in the corner for Mimi Collins.
But that's the challenge with an experienced team like State. They should be able to work together to figure out how they can be successful against the pressure of this defense.
3 on the shot clock. It may have to be a half-court heave, and that one's short. How about the defense to start for Duke? NC State struggling against Duke's defense. 1 for 8 from the field. Duke on a hot start, 11-2. ACC Women's College Basketball is brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? Well, try and decide. Duke off to a hot start, 11-2 start as we're at the 4-minute-2-second mark, as you can see this pick 6 by Camilla Emsbo, her 43rd steal of the season. Everything going well for Duke, not so well for NC State in their offense, starting 1 for 8.
Yeah, I mean, by design, Duke has started this game aggressive on the defensive end, and on the other end, State has not been able to find a rhythm or get anything going. Everything's been tough. They have 4 turnovers that, have led to offensive opportunities for Duke.
Lucia O'Connell off the bench for Duke. Offensive board goes to Reagan Richardson. Now, I know that we talk about Alucci and her energy off of the bench, but Reagan Richardson really setting the tone for the Blue Devils to start.
She does. She's the steady veteran on the team. This is a young group, and just having her be dependable and reliable is so huge.
Jane Donovan will pick up the foul there as she was going in for the rebound. Quick substitution for Duke as well as Delaney Thomas comes in.
Oh, yeah, definitely got Hayes on the side of the head there, but that is something that Donovan does for this Duke team. She gets active on the offensive glass.
Jane Donovan, the 6-foot freshman out of Washington, D.C.
DMV kids, we love them.
Lefty jumper for Isaiah James off the mark. Isaiah James has the only 2 points for the Wolfpack as we're approaching the 3-minute mark here in the first quarter. Conwa, ball movement from Duke. Mayer, short. Zoe Brooks, another player off the bench for the Wolfpack that is very dangerous. That's not our words, but Kara Lawson understanding what she provides for the Wolfpack. Tried to find a lane and a foul is called. Lucia Conwa reached in and she'll pick up the foul.
I'd like to see State play with just a better pace. I think they need to, force the issue when they get rebounds off of missed shots, kind of go into their actions with more pace. It's just very stagnant. Everyone is just slow to every action.
2 free throws on the way for Zoe Brooks as she knocks down the first one. Well, hey, Wednesday on ACC Network, 8th-ranked Duke squares off against Louisville at 7 Eastern, followed by the premiere of Coach K and Roy Williams. Rivals reunited, a 1-hour special featuring coaching legends like Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Williams sitting down together for an extensive conversation for the first time since their college coaching careers began over 40 years ago. I was watching just a couple of teasers and sitting down. I think West Durham will be talking with them as well. And it's so cool to see coaching legends across from one another, being able to really take us inside and understand what that rivalry was all about.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone will be tuned in taking notes.
And another look on the inside, some offense starting for NC State as River Baldwin able to clean that one up.
And that is where State can find some success. Getting the ball up on the rim. Duke is a shot-blocking team. Their bigs will come over, so the State bigs can come behind and clean up on the glass.
Wolfpack doing a better job taking care of the ball as well after that 4-minute mark. They had 4 turnovers to start the ball game out. Reagan Richardson really feeling it to start.
She asked for the and one too. I think she felt some contact there. But yeah, that little sweet spot for her, that one dribble pull-up is money.
6 points for Reagan, 3 for 5 from the field in her 9 minutes of play. Mimi Collins sends it on the inside. River Baldwin off the mark. Approaching the 1-minute mark, and here comes Duke.
You can see State has made an emphasis to get the ball inside, whether that's off the dribble or off the pass, because they started off with 4 threes and that 1 of 8.
Mayer misses the corner 3 there, but another thing that NC State has struggled with is giving up open looks beyond the arc. And Duke not hitting them now, but are very capable of doing so. River Baldwin gets the rebound. 3rd try. Gets fouled in the process. 2 free throws on the way.
River Baldwin finding herself successful on the glass, being relentless. Now she'll have a chance to knock him down at the line.
Well, M's going to be charged with the foul there as the first one goes down for River Baldwin. Talking with Wes Moore, he mentioned just the different things they have to do to open up their offense. He said getting an inside touch, River Baldwin getting her going early is a must.
Yeah, getting her going and just playing inside out. They need the ball moving around, getting some movement, having everybody touch it. They're better when they play that way.
About a 4-second difference between game and shot clock. We're at the top of the key with the outstretched arms of Sanaya Rivers on the other side. Decide to go for it at the 10-second mark. Mayer steps back, 3 from the wing, off the mark. Mayer able to track it down, shoots it with 3 left on the game clock, and Sanaya Rivers comes out. Does she get it off in time? It seems like the officials actually were waving it off before she let it go. So that will be the end of the first quarter.
Duke is up 13-8 here in Cameron, and Richardson is off to a great start with the sweet spot jumper.
The ACC's Committee for Racial and Social Justice, in conjunction with its member institutions, have identified February 17th through the 25th as ACC Unity Week. See them joined at the hands there, and it's been fun to watch how each team has shown and been a part of Unity Week. As we welcome you to Cameron Indoor, and Duke right now with a 13-8 lead over NC State, and it's the 5th time State has had a single-digit quarter this season right out of the gate. Aluchi Akanwo will turn the ball over. Run too many steps, and that's something that Carol Lawson wants to clean up.
It has. It's been in different areas where they've been trying to clean it up, but just maybe playing a little bit too fast, ready to do the next thing instead of focusing on, just catching, get your feet set, and then making a play.
Powell comes down with the rebound, actually leading the team in rebounds off the bench. So much energy, so much fun to watch, really. Just this freshman class understanding what they have to be for Carol Lawson this season. Emma Cable off the bounce. Backdoor pass. Aluchi with 5 to work with on the shot clock. Jackson. A lot of time went off the clock, and an offensive foul as the shot clock was running down.
And that's something River Baldwin does. You don't see too many post players, too many centers taking charges, but she does. And shot clock running down, and Jackson just runs right into her.
Ashlyn Jackson picks up the foul there. And there's that communication as far as what you want your team to be. Shot clock, where is it, and where everyone needs to be on the floor. Turnover for Duke. An offense, any offense for the Wolfpack with their hunting right now. Sanaya Rivers, she is still at the top of the key. Cable finishing. And top of the key turnovers for the Wolfpack have been a problem.
And Duke still finding success from their defensive intensity and being locked in and turning that to offense.
6 points off of turnovers so far for Duke. 5 turnovers for NC State, so that's almost a point on every single turnover. Duke is making them pay.
Emma Cable just getting into the game, gets into the passing lane, and through the contact, runs it down and finishes on the other end.
Duke averages close to 9 steals a game, and this is a very different looking Blue Devil team from January 21st when these two teams met. River Baldwin trying everything to get around Kennedy Brown. Great defense for Brown.
That is the Duke game plan, to make every shot tough and make State take contested twos.
Diana Mayer at the top of the key, pulling things back. NC State has yet to score in this quarter. Mayer pulls up, mid-range, you can count it.
I like that Horns rescreen action for Mayer. She's so great in the mid-range. You saw them run up into the Horns action. One post rolls, the other post comes over and sets another screen to get her right to that mid-range elbow.
Taina Mayer, 5 points right now. She's had double figures in 3 of her last 5 games. Sanaya Rivers finally on the board for the Wolfpack.
It's a battle of the mid-range because Sanaya Rivers is great around that area as well.
Almost comes up with the steal, trying to poke it away from Mayer. A lot of action at the top of the key. Cable pulls up mid-range. You want it, you got it, Jasmine.
It's a mini game, you know, and sometimes people think that the mid-range is lost in the game, that it's the three-pointers are in the paint, but these two teams showing that the mid-range game is still alive and well.
First two attempts for Cable are good as she's perfect from the field to start. The mark for Zoe Brooks, and just a struggle for NC State, but Duke not struggling offensively.
Duke in the pick and rolls, they've been putting River Baldwin in them, and she's staying so deep in the paint that it's allowing Duke to have that mid-range shot every time. So either she extends out or they're going to live with Duke being able to have those looks.
9-point ball game, a little under 7 minutes to play. A turnover for NC State as a foul will go against Mimi Collins with his placement underneath. So now you start to think, what needs to change for the Wolfpack offensively? First getting a stop here, of course, but it has been a struggle to start.
Yeah, and just, I know we keep saying the movement, but it really is the movement. Be more intentional about who they put in actions and how they can be successful. They haven't found any one thing that's working great for them.
Getting stops on the defensive end and finding ways to score in transition is another key for Westmore as they get the steal on the other end there. Sanaya Rivers gets Mare up top. Mare flying in for the rebound. Mare already with 3 rebounds in this ball game.
You know, we talk a lot about, and at least in the program, about guards coming in and getting those long rebounds around the nail. So that's why you see when you have really good guard rebounders, that's typically what they're doing. They're running in on the defensive glass and cleaning it up around that ACC.
Conwell will check out as Reagan Richardson checks back in the game for the Blue Devils. Conwell with the 2 fouls will take a seat. Mimi Collins finds the bucket.
Mimi Collins shooting the ball so much better this season than last season, and they could look to have a little bit more scoring out of her as well to get a flow, to get a rhythm going. Play for Mimi Collins is not a bad option.
They have 5 players that are averaging double figures. This is now a 7-point ball game. Outside, just off the mark. Another O board going to Duke.
Duke just quicker to every loose ball.
Kennedy Brown found space, finds the bottom of the net.
I tell you, when the Duke bigs are scoring, it helps. Kennedy Brown started off this season not being aggressive, not really looking to score, and she's made such a significant change here late in the season.
Cable hits the deck, able to get the steal up top, just misses in transition as River Baldwin able to bring that possession for Duke to a close.
And that's a rare miss from Delaney Thomas, who comes in off the bench and finishes at 57% from the floor. I'm sure she wishes she could have that one back.
Brooks running that one back as well, misses the mark as Mare surveying the land, not many numbers, and she'll set things up. Rare miss for Richardson, the way that she's been able to start this game. We said it would be a battle of the glass right now. Right now, for rebounds, it's 15-15 to start.
It just seems like the types of rebounds that Duke is getting, they have 4 offensive, but they've been momentum breakers. Like anytime it seems like State can have an opportunity to get something on, Duke gets a hustle play.
Double screen at the top of the key for Sanaya Rivers. Reagan Richardson, nice job getting over the top. Another short shot clock for the Wolfpack. River Baldwin up and under, and it's good.
It's not uncommon for State to get down in the shot clock when they're trying to control tempo of the game. I called that Notre Dame game where they found success being able to do that. They got a little comfort, got some things going offensively, and then they slowed the game all the way down. They are comfortable playing in the half court when they have to.
Chipping away, the Wolfpack finished the first quarter with just 8 points, shooting 12% from the field. And how about Emma K? Cable.
That's a big-time take and finish with the left over River Baldwin.
Emma Cable already with 6 points has doubled her season numbers and receives a high five from everybody on the bench.
The veteran on NC State, River Baldwin, scoring down low over Kennedy Brown, but then sophomore Emma Cable scores over her on the other end, and Duke is up 23-14.
Duke has one of the best defenses in the nation, and they're showing it against the Wolfpack to start here.
They absolutely are. The Wolfpack is shooting 23% from the floor. Duke has 4 steals. They have 6 points off turnovers. They just look intense, and they're doing a good job at converting defense to offense.
You can see the steal there at the top of the key by Camilla Emsbo as we now take a look at our food line food for thought. Points allowed, 57 points. Tonight, 14. Duke defense this season has been unbelievable. We saw them against one of the best offenses in the ACC against Syracuse just a game ago, and they held them to 17 points in the first half and their lowest point total of the season.
Yeah, there's been a stat they've been tracking this season about holding their opponents to their lowest scoring average. In 25 of 26 games, they've been able to do that, and they're on pace to do it again today.
In the Carol Lawson era, we've always discussed how defense has been their identity, but now in the last year or two, you're seeing now how they're putting both sides together as a foul underneath will send River Baldwin to the free throw line. You mentioned the balance that they have on both sides as a very dangerous team going into tournament play.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer in defense. It's one of the hardest things to coach, to find players that really want to play defense, to really buy in and take pride on that end of the floor is so huge. And then when things start clicking offensively, it just all comes together.
Don't you love when just things come together? Yes. Saturday right here on the AC Network and the ESPN app will have a lacrosse doubleheader that starts at 11 a.m. Eastern. 2 top 10 matchups between North Carolina. They host Notre Dame. And then you'll see the matchup from the men's side, Johns Hopkins and Virginia. Make sure you stay tuned for that on Saturday as we're enjoying the women's basketball matchup here between NC State and Duke. This is a different looking Duke team from January 21st as Mayer knocks down the triple in the corner. James with a nice look at the rim.
And they needed that take from Zaya James because everything is going in Duke's favor right now. The State defense is not being disruptive. They're not having any impact on that end of the floor, and they need to get something going offensively.
4 points now for James as it's a 10-point ball game. Reagan, step back. River Baldwin now with 7 rebounds for the Wolfpack. NC State shooting 26% here in the first half. River Baldwin can't connect. And you can see the frustration, wanting that contact underneath.
You can, and of course that's what happens when you have defense that is taking you out of everything that you want to do. They're making everything tough. They're being physical. You will get frustrated. River Baldwin, she's been great rebounding the ball today, but just couldn't finish that one right at the rim.
Picks up the foul there as well. River Baldwin now with 1. No other player in foul trouble. The only other foul going against the Wolfpack is actually Mimi Collins. Turnover by Duke. Wolfpack with numbers. Fake on the inside. Great defense by Reagan Richardson. Who will it go to? They say it will go to Duke.
That's absolutely great defense. Reagan Richardson, she saw James going downhill, knows what kind of scorer she is. She didn't go for the fake, and she knows she's a lefty. She played the left hand, and she was able to come up with a stop without fouling.
A conversation with Kara Lawson earlier, we said, hey, we understand Zaya James is a scorer. You can't say completely stop her, but what needs to be done differently? She said our discipline was not where it should have been, and we're seeing the discipline to start today.
We are, and they had great preparation with how they guarded Deasia Fair and Syracuse, and they're showing that again today. As T. Mayer puts in another basket for Duke. She's just having a great game so far. She's so fun to watch.
Brooks wanted contact, nothing there. Less than a minute to play. Mayer dishes it off. Up top, misses the layup. Second attempt, good though. As this is the biggest lead for the Duke Blue Devils. Under 30 seconds to go in the first half.
A great opportunity for State right now, given that this half has not gone in their favor, to get a basket right here and go into that locker room with some kind of momentum where they can talk about turning things around in the second half.
Sanaya Rivers off the mark. River Baldwin able to get the rebound with 6 seconds left. What a look. Diana Mayer has been everywhere on the floor for Duke. As River Baldwin is able to knock that one down. River Baldwin shooting close to 90% from the free throw line on the season. And this is the second. Not a lot of time. Jackson doesn't need it. Miss Jackson with the triple to close out the half, 35-19. This is the fewest points that the Wolfpack have had in any half this season, and Wes Moore will discuss just that at half.
Everything is going Duke's way, and it is electric in here because of plays like this as Jackson nails the three to end the first half.
Everything going well for Duke, 35-19, as we send it to Justin and Coach McGraw in the studio.
Thanks, Angel. Welcome into this ACC Network Halftime Report. I'm Justin Walters alongside Hall of Fame coach Muffin McGraw. Duke is not playing any type of games whatsoever, Coach. This is the largest halftime deficit of the season for NC State and their lowest scoring first half of the season. What have you seen from Duke on a defensive end?
Well, what Duke is doing is they're taking away the easy passes. They're in every passing lane, which is forcing NC State to try to do everything off the dribble. The problem is they're also taking away the driving lanes, so there's nowhere for them to go. They've tried the pick and roll with the hard hedge that Duke is employing. It's basically a double team on the ball. Somebody's open, but the guards cannot find the open man. They're just trying to dribble out of trouble. A lot of over dribbling, great defense, great team defense by Duke.
You've seen River Baldwin have some success, but Isaiah James, Sanaya Rivers, even Zoe Brooks, what do they need to do on the offensive end to find some better success?
Well, they've got to do a better job setting their screens. They're just exchanging on the wings. They're not making hard cuts. When you play Duke, you got to go backdoor. They're going to overplay every pass. You got to clear out the block and be able to get some easy backdoor opportunities. You also can get something going in transition, but they haven't been able to stop Duke from scoring, so they're just getting the ball out of the net, and they have no chance to run.
Duke and NC State. Duke has been balling in the first half. Ashton Jackson knocking down the triple. Duke right now with a strong end to the first half. They're up 35-19. NC State right now down by 16, their largest deficit. Second half starts your way in minutes. Angel Gray, Jasmine Thomas on the call. We see you, River Baldwin.
Welcome back to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Duke up 35-19 over the 6th-ranked team in the nation, NC State. This is the biggest deficit they've had at half. I'm Angel Gray alongside the former Duke and WNBA standout and Jasmine Thomas. And there's a lot of things that have went well for Duke to start shooting close to 50% from the field. A couple of things that you'd love to see in the first half from them.
I mean, I love the defense. I want to see them continue to be stifling. They have State shooting 21% from the floor, but keep it up on the offensive end as well. They're playing well off of each other. They're scoring it getting down lane lines. They're scoring it in the mid-range. You know, they just have a good energy to them. Everybody is getting involved. They have they've been taking care of the ball. They only have 5 turnovers, so they've done a lot of good things on both sides of the ball in that first half.
Yeah, outscoring NC State 22-11 in that second quarter. Let's take a look at our star stories for players that have been crushing it. A late brought to you by Crush. And starting with NC State, honestly, River Baldwin has been the answer in that second quarter. Just 1 point and 1 rebound away from a double-double, but Taina Mayer has really set the tone in that second quarter, getting everything she wants on the offensive end.
She has, and she's actually she's a great decision maker. She's a player that gets a lot of assists and shares the ball as well. So she hasn't even got going in that part yet. So I look to see her do some more of that this half too.
More defense coming from Duke on the inside. Reagan Richardson with the deflection, or the block rather, there, as NC State will get it back with 11 on the shot clock. Mind you, Reagan Richardson to a hot start. Duke started 6-0 in this ball game. Just 2 to work with, and NC State will have .9, actually a turnover for the Wolfpack to start things out.
Duke's defense is just, they are on point. You can tell they are locked into the scout. They are making everything so tough for the Wolfpack.
They average about 13 turnovers per game. Right now they're sitting at 9. NC State was shooting 20% in the first half, and Reagan Richardson feels like she's been shooting 100% in this ball game, really leading the way.
Yeah, with this deficit, State is going to have to get River Baldwin to get contests in the ball screen defense. She's staying so low, and these screens are low. They're not threes right now. They are shooting close to in the paint jumpers.
It's not 100%, but Reagan Richardson is shooting 50% from the field. Mimi Collins tries a turnaround jumper there, nothing. Kennedy Brown able to come down with a rebound.
Reagan Richardson is definitely a player that is able to fill up a stat sheet and score some points. She's a great scorer for this Duke team. And I don't plan on her slowing down unless State switches something up.
Sanaya Rivers full steam ahead, picks up the foul as the offensive foul goes against Sanaya Rivers. How about the look for Ashlyn Jackson rushing back?
Yeah, to be able to sprint the full length of the floor, get back, get position, and take that charge, that's impressive by Jackson.
Mind you, she was also on the mid-range area by the free throw line. She took that last shot for Duke and hustling back. Those are the type of plays that are charted for Kara Lawson. Very Jasmine Thomas-esque. Ashton guarded by Isaiah James. Tries the floater there, nothing. How about that half-court shot she hit right before halftime? River Baldwin in the trail. Back iron. Kennedy Brown been a nightmare on the boards. Kennedy Brown now with 4. Asks for the ball. Sanaya Rivers trying to send it up the floor to Mimi Collins, the 11th turnover, and it just continues to unravel for the Wolfpack, trying to avoid dropping back-to-back games for the first time this season.
Yeah, you see Coach there just a little frustrated. They just look out of sorts. They can't string together stops. They can't string together scores.
The road has been a tough stretch. We talked to Wes Moore. I said, how you doing? He said, I've seen better days. An overtime game against Georgia Tech. That was going down to the wire as Taina Mayer tried to see if she could put the ball back. They're going to say it's going to the Wolfpack. A very interesting conclusion for the officials as Denise Brooks says, nope, going Wolfpack. Huh? Good eye.
Yeah, great eye, because I was concerned too, but after seeing the replay, definitely a right call by the officials.
Denise Brooks, Safe Esho, and Teresa Stuck on the call for the officials tonight. 18-point lead for Duke.
Look at the timing. Everything is just off for State as they almost end up with another turnover. And then they just, put up any shot because they got a good look at it. And credit to Madison Hayes for staying active on the offensive glass. She gets a rebound and putback. It's something that she does for this State team, and they're going to need more hustle plays like that to get back into this game.
So many weapons offensively for NC State that have to get going here in the second half. Just the first bucket for Madison Hayes. Reagan mishandles on that attempt. Mayer pulls up. Money ball. Biggest lead for Duke. And the biggest deficit for NC State all season.
And Mayer's out in the open floor. They could have passed it up to her, but they didn't see her.
Who is the answer? That was a question that you asked Westmore when you go through scoring droughts. Who steps up? Who is that X factor for you guys? And you've yet to see who that is tonight.
Yeah, I feel like they're still searching for that. You have an experienced team of veterans, so you expect that that's something that just naturally comes out of a player, but they're still searching for that with this State team.
Tied up, Jane Donovan in the way of Sanaya Rivers for the tie-up. Possession, Duke.
T. Mayer is just having herself a game. She just walks into a wide open three. As hot as she is, you are shocked that the Wolfpack left her that open, but she's going to make them pay. She's shooting the ball fantastic. She's having a great game.
12 turnovers for the Wolfpack. As this has been done by committee for Duke. Taina Mayer up top with 13. The only player in double figures in this ball game. Kennedy Brown, top of the key. It's raining threes for the Blue Devils.
When Kennedy Brown is scoring the ball, she does so much defensively for this Duke team. She is the defensive anchor. But when she is also scoring, it's a big problem. The Blue Devils are great when she is aggressive.
Backdoor, River Baldwin receives it from James, and she gets the and one. As River Baldwin will see a free throw when we come back from break. Duke up 20.
That is must-see TV.
Give her the ball.
Are you kidding me? And it's a tie game.
He drains it. I can't believe what I am witnessing.
The streak lives. Eats it for the win.
In the Lawson era at home, it's been very interesting to see how Duke has been able to take down some very notable teams. Not just at home, just down the line, the largest rank you can see on the side of your screen. But Kara Lawson, the standard here is to be good and be good right away.
Yeah, what she's doing here is incredible, and it started with a culture. She's building a winning culture, a confidence of, buying into the defensive end. That's where they have found their success season after season, and then also just growing. She has a young team. They're learning as they go. They've been put in environments and situations this year that have truly tested them so much. I'm surprised to see this deficit because of how talented this State team is, but I'm also not surprised because Duke has been prepared for moments like these.
I'm glad you said prepared. Seeing Stanford early in the season, playing the #1 team overall in South Carolina as well. You saw on the stat sheet what they were able to do against Florida State here at home. This is a team that has been battle tested all season, and the net ranking in the top ACC, Duke right up there in the top 5.
Yeah, they have definitely played a challenging schedule. And then you talk about the conference in general and just how tough this conference is. They're freshmen and sophomores with a few upperclassmen sprinkled into this roster playing against, because of the time of the portal, playing against very experienced teams, and they've grown and gotten better as the season's gone on.
It's very interesting. She talked to us in her office about how many she lost. 7 of her 9 that were very productive for her a season ago. A lot of freshmen on the roster, 4 of them in a starting lineup for underclassmen, and she said they're learning. And for it to click right now, is the most important thing for Kara Lawson and Duke as they continue to trend in the right direction.
Absolutely. They play hard and they compete, and that's pretty much what you want to see every night.
The number one defense in the ACC a season ago. Top two. Now the Wolfpack starting to work their way back into this ball game. 9-0 run for NC State. James knocking down the triple there. This game is not done. A little under 4 minutes left in the third, and the Wolfpack still hunting. The Wolfpack had a total of 19 points at half. They have 11 in this third quarter. 9-0 run here, and Isaiah James a big part of it.
Absolutely. You see her knocking down the three. That is what she does for this team. She's a great shooter, great scorer, and it's the response that we needed to see from the Wolfpack. That is a big third quarter momentum shift for them, and let's see how they can continue to build off of that.
Isaiah James now in double figures. She has 10. River Baldwin with 12 points, 9 rebounds, both on the court. Ashlyn Jackson dishes it off underneath. The poise there is impressive.
I was going to say the same thing. The poise and the patience to execute. They executed that exactly to that layup for Jaden Donovan, and it was pretty.
7 assists on their 20 made field goals. Duke has assisted on a little over 50% of their shots this season. James, nothing there. See now, Duke really taking their time setting up their half-court offense.
I would say even in the entirety of this game, Duke's shot selection has been better than State's.
Dish pass, Jackson. Another nice look, back-to-back assist for Jackson and buckets for Duke.
And in the first half, you saw Duke shooting those high post elbow jumpers off of pick and roll, and now you're seeing them get behind the post defense for layups.
Zoe Brooks 0 for 4 from the field. Her 2 points have come from the free throw line. How about Duke not attempting any free throws to start in this ball game?
The last pick and roll baskets you see coming from Duke, they get on that side ball screen action and just great on-time, on-target passes from the guards to the post, getting behind State's post defense.
Jackson fades out for the three. Strong on the shot as Sanaya Rivers able to track that one down. Sanaya Rivers, only 2 points, but has done a little bit of everything else. 6 rebounds. But River Baldwin couldn't find the right angle on that left side. Donovan, speedy. Dish pass, how did she find Kennedy Brown?
That was a nice find by Reagan Richardson for the finish for Kennedy Brown. That was just pretty. I got to see that replay.
That is a must and will be on the highlight tape. Beautiful dish on the inside. Sanaya Rivers pulls up.
You talked about Rivers doing everything else. This is a game where we need to see her get a little bit more aggressive offensively. That doesn't always mean shooting from the outside. That means putting some pressure on the defense, getting to the rim. She's super athletic. She can put some pressure on those Duke bigs.
Sanaya Rivers was 1 for 5 in the first half. She now has her second field goal of the ball game with 4. Less than a minute to play in the third quarter. It's been a fast one. 5 on the shot clock. Reagan with a glance at the bench. Reagan Richardson, it's her show. And we're just witnesses.
And it's so smooth. It's so smooth. It looks like she had nothing going for her, and she just steps back and drains the three.
And the tap on the back from her teammates on the bench. And the foul underneath, Kennedy Brown just reached in there. And so free throws on the way for NC State. I don't even know what to ask for as far as Reagan and what she's done in this ball game, but that pass underneath to Kennedy Brown definitely needs to be up there. All right, a couple of substitutions for Duke. How about Wednesday on the AC Network? 8th-ranked Duke squares off against Louisville at 7 Eastern, followed by the premiere of Coach K and Roy Williams. Rivals reunited. A 1-hour special featuring coaching legends Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Williams sitting down together for an extensive conversation for the first time since their college coaching careers begin. Over 40 years ago, I will be tuned in. I'm pretty sure you will be tuned in. You yourself have witnessed, being a former Duke standout, what that rivalry has been like. Less than 20 seconds left in this third quarter. Jane Donovan coughs that one up. A foul, trip up by Taina Mayer. Gives it back to the Wolfpack. 13.8 on the game clock. So Taina Mayer picks up her first foul. 13.8 left. Let's see what the Wolfpack can draw up here. Brooks behind the back. Sanaya Rivers has 6 seconds to work with. Going at Donovan. Spins up and under. Gets the bucket and the foul.
And that is the momentum play we needed. I just talked about Sanaya Rivers being more aggressive offensively and getting into the paint, into the basket. And there you see her do it. She's super long and physical and athletic, and that is a great, tough finish. And now she'll have a chance on the free throw line.
Sanaya Rivers coming alive here in the third quarter, has 6 points, 6 rebounds. You can see her directing everyone on the floor. 0.7 left in this frame. Bucket good. As that will be brought to a close. NC State actually won that quarter 18-17, but a lot of work to do because Reagan Richardson is having a field day.
Isn't she? Look at this. This is a magician right there. She passed that between 2 defenders and was able to find Kennedy Brown, and the shot clock was running down. She drains the 3, and Duke is up 52-37, headed into the fourth.
The ACC's Committee for Racial and Social Justice, in conjunction with its member institutions, have identified February 17th through the 25th as ACC Unity Week. I tell you what, when they start playing swag surf in the building, you know it's a good day for you. If you look at the game summary.
Love to see it because I'm pretty sure swag surf might have been around when I was in school and we did not play that here, so I'm loving to see it.
How about Duke and their start? Been so impressive. Taina Mayer, 13 points, has been very efficient from the field. Another thing, points in the paint, 22-12. Duke was 16-2 at halftime as Brooks comes out with the first bucket of the fourth quarter. Much needed for NC State.
Absolutely much needed. And Zoe Brooks for this team, all season, she's been a spark. Whether it's when the few games that she's been able to start or when she's coming off the bench, she comes in and she provides offense. She's a good playmaker. So seeing more from her in this quarter will be a good thing.
And the cable is going to assess the foul there. Nothing on that second attempt. Final frame of this ball game. NC State took the first game of the season at home and have a tough stretch on the road, as now they have Duke. A rivalry that goes back to 1975. 5 on the shot clock. Jackson.
You know, and Duke doesn't get a score right there, but they take their time. They execute their offense. They get to a late shot clock attempt that allows them to get their defense set, which has been terrific today.
Any adjective explaining something nice, something efficient, something dominant defensively, you could use it for Duke tonight.
I agree.
And this at the rim for Mimi Collins as We're Saturday right here on AC Network and the ESPN app. We'll have a lacrosse doubleheader that starts at 11 a.m. Eastern. For the women, a top 5 matchup between Carolina and Notre Dame. For the men, Johns Hopkins and third-ranked Virginia will square off as well. That's till it's Saturday. Zoe Brooks sends it off to Isaiah James between the legs. Couldn't get that one to go. One to beat. Reagan Richardson drains it. Streaking up top.
And what a play, because Team Mayer makes that pass from half court. She gets tackled by Isaiah James and leads her teammate to a layup.
Corner 3. Short. Just been a struggle for the Wolfpack from outside. Now 2 for 10, shooting 20% from long range.
Just so much of what the Wolfpack is trying to do offensively is one-on-one. It's individuals making plays instead of executing offense as a team, moving the ball, getting in and out of actions with tempo.
Short shot clock. Reagan off the mark as James comes down with the rebound. Brooks power dribble into that shot. She gets that one to fall. Zoe Brooks now at 6 points. And the foul that she will be given at the top of the key, rather in the backcourt.
And Duke is just doing a lot of good things well. They still have a lead in this game, but State has slowly but surely cut into this deficit. It's a 13-point game now, and if they're able to manage this clock, get some stops and get some scores, they can close it.
Down as many as 20 points. Making it a 13-point ball game. That 9-0 run in the third quarter is huge for NC State. Do they have enough left in the tank to come back? A lot of contact. That would be back-to-back fouls for Zoe Brooks. So 2 now.
And it's good you mentioned that, Angel, because State does not get a lot of production from their bench lately. And enough gas in the tank is absolutely right. They're coming off of the Carolina game where they didn't have bench production and putting a lot of heavy minutes and heavy responsibility on starters. And here in a game where Duke is firing on all cylinders, can they get to their second win? Do they have enough to pull off a comeback?
It's been very interesting, Wes Moore said. I think we read too many of the newspaper clippings after that Notre Dame game. You said you were on that call as well when they took down Notre Dame 59-43. They won it at Georgia Tech in overtime, lost to North Carolina by 10. When he talked about that stretch and seeing better days, because he understands what's on the horizon, and this is a tough schedule to close the season for Wes Moore and NC State.
You saw Jaden Donovan with the nifty reverse finish, and there she gets the rebound, starts the break. Jackson finds Kennedy Brown underneath for the finish. And it's pretty basketball by the young Blue Devils.
Miss Jackson, because that was nasty. Talked about the schedule for NC State. Well, how about for Duke? 4 of their final 6 are against top 25 teams. NC State being one of them. They'll also get North Carolina to close out the season on March 3rd.
And they have a UVA who just knocked off Louisville today.
Yeah, at home. So Virginia won 73-68. Huge upset for them. How about Wake Forest as well, winning over Georgia Tech? A little bit of a run we're seeing here from the Wolfpack.
And you see Zoe Brooks gets the steal. She finishes on the other end, and she's yelling at her teammates to come pick up, come follow me. Let's extend this pressure. How about that leadership from your freshman?
I saw the other side of you many a times, and the energy you have to bring on the court. And that's exactly what you need. You have 5 minutes left in this ball game to prevent another upset in the ACC.
It's so important. The energy you play with, the confidence, and just from plays like that, you start seeing the basketball go in. You change your energy, you change your body language, you change the whole momentum of the game.
And just like that, Sanaya Rivers with 9, shooting 50% from the field. Also has 7 rebounds. It's an 11-point ball game with a little under 4:40 left in this ball game.
Zoe Brooks giving the Wolfpack a little bit of momentum. She gets the steal and the finish, and it's 47-58 Duke.
It's go time for both teams. A little less than 5 minutes to play in this ball game. It's an 11-point game. NC State on a 6-0 run. They've hit 3 of their last buckets. Can the Blue Devils hold them off for one of the biggest wins in program history?
And you see the emotion. There's a lot on the line for all of these games closing out the season, positioning for the postseason, and just playing for pride and toughness going into the tournament.
This will be the highest ranked win for Duke since 2022. Ironically, it was against the Wolfpack, and we talked about NC State. They have not dropped back-to-back games all season. Last time they did that was back in March of last season, as there's another foul that will be assessed against the Wolfpack. So Zoe Brooks picks up her 4th personal. So the next foul for NC State that they commit will put Duke on the free throw line for the bonus. Duke only has 1 team foul. River Baldwin begging for the ball underneath, and just a missed opportunity for the Wolfpack.
And I don't love that shot by Mimi Collins. I sense her wanting to get into the action a little bit, wanting to help her team out. But I think you get that inside to River Baldwin, give her a chance to do something good with it. And if she doesn't have something, you relocate on the outside, and then maybe you take that shot.
Yeah. Kennedy Brown dishes it back out. Smart move by Reagan Richardson to pull things out, reset a bit. Time is definitely on their side. As Team Air will set things up. And Kara Lawson on the side, putting everyone in place. High screen, Mayer, turnaround. All but goes down. Kennedy Brown thought that went off of Sanaya Rivers, but Denise Brooks will set things up for the Wolfpack. Full court pressure we'll see from Duke. And Isaiah James will check back in the ball game for Mimi Collins. Brooks playing with the 4 fouls. And a big key off the bench with 8. The dish should have been a tie-up. Nothing there, and they say a jump ball indeed. And it will go to Duke. A lot of officials in the stands tonight.
Yeah, aren't there always?
If there was any doubt.
State extending this pressure, and every time you see Duke just throwing it over the top. I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish. If they're trying to speed Duke up and turn them over, then they need to kind of get locked in a little bit more and being more disruptive.
Only 8 turnovers for Duke. Another box that needed to be checked for today after coming off of a game. Even in the win, 27 turnovers, not good for Duke. Turnover there at the top of the key. Sanaya Rivers. Nothing there. Blocked from behind. Jaden Donovan.
I love this. Madison Hayes gets the offensive rebound, but the freshman, Jaden Donovan, says, not in my house.
Even as a freshman, you watch the tape. I mean, her ceiling is unbelievable.
It really is. Just her athleticism. She has a pro body, and as she comes into her own and continues to develop, she's just going to be extremely fun to watch.
Single-digit lead for Duke. Last time the lead was in single digits, we go back to 25-16. It's been quite some time since that point, so Duke holding off with the 9-point lead.
And you see T. Mayer do this time and time again, coming down late in games and making big plays.
The future of this game is in great hands. A sophomore, the transfer from Boston College, shining bright for Duke in this game.
Flexing those little freshy muscles. I see him. Shout out that Duke performance staff. They do a great job in the weight room and doing all those things to get these athletes ready to perform at the highest level on the court.
Less than 2 minutes to play. Nice take to the bucket for Sanaya Rivers, now in double figures, 10-point game. 1:54 left in this ball game. They step aside, we'll do the same. Welcome back. Well, on Wednesday on the ACC Network, 8th-ranked Duke squares off against Louisville at 7 Eastern, followed by the premiere of Coach K and Roy Williams, rivals reunited. A 1-hour special featuring coaching legends. Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Williams sitting down together for an extensive conversation for the first time since their college coaching careers began over 40 years ago. Make sure you tune into that. We appreciate you tuning into this one as well, as Duke has a 10-point lead with under 2 minutes to play. Biggest lead for them has been 20, and Wolfpack able to work themselves back into this one. 90 seconds left in this ball game. 4 on the shot clock. Mayer, what can she do?
That is impressive. A right-handed layup down the lane line over the big and never put her left hand back on the ball.
Her season high is 26 points, 24 points. Season high 26 for her career. Right now she has 18, but it feels like she has had 30. The response on the other side by James on the spin move will get her 2 free throws.
T. Mayer with 18 points. As you see the hesitation down the right lane line for the finish with the right. And as I said, she did not put her left hand back on the ball. It's a tough finish under pressure.
You talk about growth. You mentioned just how different players may transfer in and out. Like, she played in the ACC understanding what the talent was going to have to be like. But the pressure is a little bit different when you're at Duke.
It is. With the history of this program and just the expectation from Coach Lawson, yes, the pressure is significantly different when you're at Duke. You're playing for something every game when you play here.
It looks like they're playing for something tonight. Steal. Brooks took the bump, couldn't knock it down. Less than a minute to play. Brooks gets 2 free throws. So you mentioned it. What is NC State looking for? I think it might be this.
This is what they're looking for. That's a great adjustment by them. They gave up the long pass consecutive plays in a row earlier, and here you see them pick it off and get a chance to put some points on the board. Just a 10-point game with 56 seconds left. They can manage this game and put themselves in a position to win.
All right, well, Thursday night at 10 Eastern after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every game and look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week. That's coverage you can only find in one place right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. A timeout has been called here. Duke will call the timeout, and with a little under a minute left to play in this ball game, let's take a look at some bracket talk. I mean, if the season ended today, we love having these discussions because a million things could happen in the next 2 to 3 games to close out the season, but this is what it looks like. The first 4 in the standings get a double bye. Top 8, you get the single bye, but that first round, this is what it looks like between Clemson and Boston College, Virginia and Pitt, Georgia Tech and Wake Forest. It'll be interesting. Anything stand out to you?
I mean, it's just so much parity, but I look at Virginia Tech playing that Duke team where Duke has given them so much trouble. They've beat them once. Of course, they had Amor not in there in those minutes, but then they gave her a hard time in the Virginia Tech win.
And it's a tough place to play at Castle Coliseum. I think some equipment fell out for Team Mayer. So Duke in the bonus will get free throws. Knocks down the first. For Kaina Mayer. Let's take a look at our Bojangles Big Bow moment of tonight's game. Hey, you all know what's on the horizon. T. Mayer, as they call her, lighting it up tonight.
She absolutely is. 20 points, and she's done it from all over the floor in so many different kinds of ways. She's hit big shot after big shot. It's just been exciting tonight.
I think exciting is one thing, confident is another. And you look at her really finding her groove, new system, new look for her, leads the team in assists, has been everything for them in different ways. And so you could say that about Jaden Donovan, you could say that about Reagan Richardson, but as a collective, this team is dangerous because everyone plays their part, their role.
Absolutely. I love the competitiveness that Mayer brings. I feel like every game that I watch, she competes at a high level.
In and out for Brooks. Really wanted that one, and now you have to foul. Thinking about possessions at this point. So if that one's called on Brooks, not sure who the foul was called on. Actually, they say it's Isaiah James who has 2 on her. The next one will send, for Brooks, will send her to the bench. 42.9 left in this ball game. Kennedy Brown steps up for 2 free throws. And Duke doing a pretty good job as a team overall from the free throw line, shooting 75%. Drains the second and has 15 points to her stat line. Just 2 below her career high, 17 points against Toledo. Kennedy Brown has been a big factor, and Isaiah James is not done yet.
And you have to be concerned with State because of players like Isaiah James. She's a terrific shooter, and she can get these quick threes to fall in a hurry.
4 players in double figures for NC State. But it's Taina Mayer with the 20 points and 7 rebounds that stands off the sheet. How about Charlie Cream, the 1-2 seeds, NC State for that 2 seed, and they remained in that 6th spot, even taking the loss in North Carolina. With the loss here, how does that shift things for Charlie Cream going into tomorrow? So for South Carolina, the only undefeated D1 team this season, took care of business against Kentucky tonight as well. South Carolina, Dawn Staley definitely rolling in Columbia.
A dynasty, for sure.
So it looks like that will be the 5th, going against Zoe Brooks with 10 points. And Steele will come check in for the Wolfpack. Zoe Brooks came off the bench and really tried to provide that spark. That 20-point deficit in the 3rd quarter, just a little bit too much for the Wolfpack to come back from. There's Reagan Richardson with 15. So Duke just 34 seconds away from closing this one out, and have been very impressive throughout the season. I thought it was very interesting to just talk with Carol Lawson, even with so many freshmen on the roster. She said, hey, we're going to have some growing pains. But as far as that net, 21, and the ACC 8th at this point. But you look at the wins. What does that mean? Projection, the 7 seed, Virginia Tech, they beat here. You talked about it. Georgia A&M didn't play in the second half. Florida State, they completely dominated at home. And just recently getting a big road win against Syracuse, holding them to the fewest points they've had all season.
You know, you talk about like peaking at right moments. I feel confident that Coach Lawson would not say that they have peaked or that they are peaking, because she's just always about the continued growth that they have. But they definitely look like they're going in the right way at the right time.
Turnover for the Wolfpack. And Westmore signals not to foul. There's a couple of ticks on the game clock, over the shot clock, so it may be a turnover if they dribble this one out. But how about the crowd for this win? That would have been the icing on the cake for Team Air. James, no good. Mission complete. And redemption for Duke as they take the second game, 69-58.
And you know, they came into this game wanting to compete better from the start and just play an over-round better game. And the Blue Devils have to be proud of themselves about how they responded here on their home floor.
So many players that we can discuss down the line either way. Duke is able to push to 18-9 on the season. So for Jasmine Thomas and our entire crew, I'm Angel Gray saying so long from Durham. Final score 69-58. Duke with the win over the Wolfpack. Coming up next, we'll send it to the Nothing But Net crew.
To another exciting matchup, and that was NC State and Duke. If you believe it or not, Coach, the 4th straight game for the Blue Devils against a ranked opponent. Second quarter, Duke came out here playing no games. Emma Cable gets a steal, goes coast to coast, Coach.
Their defense was fantastic. They took NC State out of absolutely everything they wanted to do.
Big bucket there, Reagan Richardson. Largest halftime deficit of the season. Duke up by 16, and then the mayor knocking down a triple, 3 of her 20 points, Coach.
She really played well, especially down the stretch. She hit big shots, made some great drives to the basket, made some free throws. She did it all tonight.
Duke wins this one 69-58. That is their biggest win against a ranked opponent since 2022. Let's speak about the defensive attitude coming in, because it felt like Duke, after that big win against Cuse, they just wanted it more in the first half.
It really looked that way. And I think the problem that you're seeing right now from some of these teams, NC State and Notre Dame, they don't have a great bench. They're playing 6 people. They look exhausted. It's that time of the year. They're coming into the game, and they just want to get the season over with so they can get to the tournament. Duke came out and got in the passing lane. They made it really difficult for NC State to move the ball, so they put it on the floor. Then Duke decided to cut off the driving lane, so they didn't have a lane to the basket. They tried some pick and roll. Duke came out with a hard hedge that really bothered the guards. They couldn't find the open man. They just looked out of sync. They couldn't get anything going on offense.
Coach, Duke is continuing to improve their resume, beating the Orange top 25 and then another win against a top 6 program. Confidence, what does this do for them going into the NCAA tournament as well as the ACC tourney?
Well, confidence is huge because this is a very young team, the youngest team in the conference, with 4 freshmen getting a lot of playing time. And you can just see the improvement that they've made over the season. Tina Mayer is the general out there. She's the one that's got them under control. She's the veteran in charge of this group, and she's doing a great job. They've got terrific post defense, great perimeter defense. When you play good defense, you're going to be in every game. The question for them is, how are they going to shoot the ball on any given night? And some nights they shoot it well, like they did tonight, and other nights they struggle from the field.
Next up for NC State, they're taking on Syracuse. Meanwhile, Duke will be hosting UVA.